Hey guys, today's video is a mini tea of things happening on the internet. I don't know what my hand just did there. That was not planned. My social media will be in the description down below, along with anything else you might need to find, including my beauty channel. So let's just, my nose is itchy, get into it. Today we're talking about basically kind of like three, max 4, maybe 5 people. That's a lot more than 3. But there are like 3 main characters in this storyline. So we have Tana Mongeau, we have McBroom, we have Bryce Hall. Then we have like a slight cameo by Josh Richards, Vinny Hacker, and Corinna Kopf. Let's just get into it. Anyway, so recently there was the event put on by Social Gloves. That was the TikTokers versus YouTubers boxing event. Obviously, you had the likes of Vinny Hacker, like I said. Then we had Deji, we had Bryce Hall, we had McBroom, and then a bunch of people that I did not know who they were. That's just the honest truth. Did not know who they were. I knew like the top 2 fights and that was it. So we have the Social Gloves event. Bryce Hall is set to make $5 million. Incredible, amazing, fantastic. The rest are probably going to make somewhere kind of below that. Now we get to the BFFs podcast with Vinny Hacker, and before Vinny Hacker comes on, Josh Richards says that he's heard through the grapevine that they're not being paid, that they haven't been paid, and that actually Social Gloves went bankrupt, like filed for bankruptcy 2 days ago. He says, you know what, don't trust me on this. I don't know if I'm telling the truth. Like, I could have just made all of this up. Anyway, Vinny Hacker comes on, they start doing the interview, they ask him about it, and he's like, yeah, I haven't been paid. I've been trying to get in touch with them. No one's really aware of what's happening. The money's not in my bank account though. So like, am I being paid? I don't know. They have Tana Mongeau piping in, you know, kind of like talking about this whole thing. Now, let's go back a little bit. When the fight was happening, the night the fight was happening, Tana Mongeau started tweeting about McBroom allegedly cheating on Catherine with many different people. So Tana told a story about how she was in the car with Jake Paul and McBroom calls Jake Paul, and it turns out to be Catherine shouting at the phone, saying, is this Tana Mongeau's lipstick? He said this is her lipstick, and it was the lipstick that Catherine had found in Austin's car. So she's assuming that he's cheating on her. Tana then says, yeah, it's mine, even though it's not hers, because she's just like, I don't want to be in the middle of a cheating scandal. Turns out it was Erica Castell's. Erica Castell responds to a tweet that McBroom posted after the fight, saying that it was Erica Castell's and that he was dropping Erica and Jake Paul home, and that's how it got there. Erica then posted a few TikToks about this, basically being like, yeah, there was no cheating, it was my lipstick. Then we have Tana Mongeau also tweeting about how McBroom apparently created like a nanny service where he would basically have girls over at the house pretending to be nannies, when really it was just so that when Catherine leaves the house, he can cheat on her with them. So those are the stories that she was telling on the day of the fight. Now Austin comes back and he denies all of it. Tana deletes the tweets and the TikToks, but you know, she's still sticking to the story, more or less. She's just deleted them so she doesn't get sued. And then recently Tana started tweeting how basically Austin is scamming people. So McBroom tweeted, matter of fact, if you're a woman who would love to sleep Tana Mongeau in the ring, hit me up. I would be honored to make that happen. And he also posted that on his Instagram stories. Tana Mongeau actually tweeted out saying, you realize Triller offers more money than you, right? Maybe I'd fight with Social Gloves when my friends get their checks. Remember when you had one of your security guards drop a $40,000 in a bag to my roommate so they wouldn't expose you cheating? You didn't pay me though. Also, it's recently come out in some kind of a document that McBroom is a huge investor in Social Gloves, and he was the main fighter. Can we see kind of where the issue lies? Like, where's the pay-per-view? So Social Gloves posts on Instagram saying, before people start any rumors, we are working tirelessly to verify the financial results of the Social Gloves event. We have hired a leading accounting firm, as well as first-class forensic auditors to make sure that all amounts are properly accounted for. Our sincere hope is to pay every fighter and every talent who participated in this spectacular event in a reasonable time frame. Please continue to send us your receipts as it assists in verifying the total amounts earned. Why would people need to send receipts to make sure that you know how much you made? Like, wouldn't it just be kind of obvious how much you made? I don't know. So then we have McBroom posted on his Instagram story saying 100,000 pay-per-view buys is cap. Only the haters want to believe that. If anything, these people who are scamming, which isn't Social Gloves, are basically saying all of us fighters' fan bases ain't. We all know Social Gloves put on one of the biggest social media events in history, as all of you watched. The real numbers will come out soon. Just know Social Gloves weren't the ones who collected pay-per-view numbers/purchases. Don't forget how you watched it. So I think he's assuming, well, I think he's insinuating that it's the platforms that you guys watched on that are scamming them, and basically saying, oh no, there were only like 100,000 pay-per-views. Who was it? Who was like what were the platforms that you could, I don't know, I didn't buy the event, so I don't know what platforms you could watch them on, but I'm assuming what he's saying is it's not Social Gloves, it's the middleman that is scamming. Just wait till I can actually speak about it. Side note, if you're a woman who would love to sleep Tana Mongeau in the ring, hit me up. I would be honored to make that happen. So all of this goes down between Austin and Tana Mongeau. Now I want to know what Catherine's thinking in all of this. Like, she's kind of being dragged silently. You know, she's on the sidelines just like, what is happening? I don't even want to talk about it. But then we get the BFFs podcast with obviously Vinny Hacker, and he mentions the fact that he hasn't been paid, but also then they start going on about OnlyFans and how Corinna Kopf recently started on OnlyFans, on which she said in just over 24 hours, she made just over $1 million. Every day, I wonder what I'm doing with my life. Wow, I am in awe. I respect the hustle. I respect the grind. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Corinna Kopf. She also then tweeted how she made $165,000 from one picture of her boobs. And once again, I'm just wondering what I'm doing with my life. Nothing but utmost respect for Corinna Kopf. I think she's killing the game. I think she's doing great. Anyway, there was a little bit of a scandal though with her OnlyFans, was that apparently she was posting pictures that were very similar, if not the exact pictures from her Instagram at first, but now I'm pretty sure she's posting like OnlyFans content that is making people happy because she's making $165,000 per post. So that's incredible. And Josh Richards mentions how she asked him out to dinner to pay with her OnlyFans money, and he had to rain check and basically say like, sorry, I've got a business meeting from 6 to 8. And Dave Portnoy's like, why would you not go to dinner with her? Why would you not say to the meeting guys, hey, can we postpone and go with Corinna Kopf? Why would you postpone Corinna Kopf for this business meeting? And Josh is like, business comes first, I guess. Like, and he was like, well, why would you not tell her to pick a different date? And he's like, I don't know, I'll get around to it. Anyway, so then Corinna Kopf quote tweets that tweet and says, I actually rain checked on him, so I don't know why he's acting like he rejected me. And he then posts proof that apparently he was the one that rain checked on her. So he posted messages. She says, I'll be back in LA Thursday, want to grab dinner. He says, you're asking me to date, I'm assuming he wanted to say. Yeah, let me spend my OnlyFans money on you, haha. And then he says, all right, shit, if you insist, but I gotta be at dinner 7 to 9 Thursday. And then the next day, she messages him and says, okay, I lied, I'm going to Miami tomorrow. Drama, I guess. Then Bryce Hall starts tweeting about Michael Gruen, who is his ex-manager. So we've been seeing a lot of kind of issues with content houses, mainly to do with TikTok. So we had the Hype House situation with Daisy Keech saying that she's being scammed and selling her own house, then leaving that house. Then we had Not a Content House falling off and basically saying how the managers treated them really poorly, and then starting their own house called Just a House. And now we have Sway House. So Sway was like Bryce, Josh, Noah, a bunch of guys anyway, and they seem to be like the last house that's kind of sticking together. They did kind of fall apart, but they're still friends with each other, so it seemed like everything was fine. Anyway, Bryce was talking about how before the fight Michael Gruen was talking about him behind his back, basically saying how Bryce can't sell that many tickets, that he's like overvaluing himself essentially. Michael Gruen then comes back and says how he apologized to Bryce in messages, which Bryce accepted, and that what he meant was more as a compliment, that he's like the only one pushing the event, and if the rest of the guys don't step up, they're not going to sell that many tickets because he's a one-man person. He's one man and he can't sell all of those tickets on his own. Bryce tweets out, Michael Gruen is the fakest, lying, crybaby scam LA has to offer. That's why big executives don't associate with him anymore. He is the pure definition of fake it till you make it in LA. Now, I would be terrified to join a content house at this point. It's kind of like, I don't think I've ever heard anything good about a content house. You know, we had Team 10 from Jake Paul. That was a mess. Like I said, Hype House fell apart. Well, they're still kind of together now. And they have that Netflix reality show. So I feel like Hype House is sticking around the hardest. But it doesn't really have Addison in it anymore, and Charlie, no one like that. So it's just like, I guess the biggest people are Sienna, but now she's cancelled. Vinny Hacker, and after obviously his fight, he's bigger than ever. And then a few people that I just don't know about. I'm going to be honest with you. Oh, Nikita Dragon is kind of tagging along, and just like a few people. So they're still around. Like I said, Sway fell apart, and Michael Gruen apparently is a scammer. I feel like these content houses prey on young talent, if that makes sense. Like, you know, you get these 16, 17, 18-year-olds fresh out of their like small towns coming into LA, hoping to make it big, hoping to be famous, hoping to make money. And I feel like these managers are just like, come on, we'll help you out. And then in reality, like, they never really see much money. They make connections, they network a little bit, but like at the end of the day, from what Daisy Keech said back when the Hype House drama was happening, she never did any negotiating. She never got CC'd into any emails. So when they were getting brand deals, she would get a price tag, but she didn't actually know how much her house negotiated, if that makes sense. So like, if let's say they negotiated 10 grand, but they said to her 2 grand, she never saw that it was officially 10 grand. Like, it wasn't like they were saying, oh, we'll take 10%. They were just like, oh, here's a brand deal. Like, we're not gonna say how much we're actually making from this brand deal, but that's how much we'll give you. Not a content house. We had the girls come out and basically say how They would do brand deals. If they ever left the house and went to see like family, they would come back, they would get much less brand deals than everyone else as almost like a punishment. How they weren't really allowed to leave, to go anywhere. They had to work all day. They're all like 16 and 17 year olds. Like one of them wanted to go home for Mother's Day, and they were just like, I mean, you can go, but like whatever happens to you and your career happens to you and your career. Like, we're not responsible for that. So I feel like it's just like a really toxic environment for these young teens to be in. And anyway, that's that on that for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below, anything, comment down below, and subscribe to those videos every time something happens. So hit that bell, be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any of the links in description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.